My child, Kurt, he's 14 years of age, he's ASD. He goes to Benacasa Special School in Blackrock. When he was in the school, he knows that his school is different. It's not like a normal secondary school. So he was about 8 and he said to me, we were talking about going to secondary school, and I just said, no, you have autism and your brain just works a little bit different from somebody else's, and he was just grand.
I have 3 sons. Ryan is 23. Went through primary school, was diagnosed when he was in primary. Primary had great facilities, senior school not so much, and secondary dreadful.
It was lonely, but not always lonely in a way I minded. I went to school, and both primary school and secondary school were experiences I couldn't stand. I went with the kind of children that and later teenagers, and oh God, teenagers, where I think I wouldn't have wanted to be friends with them or interact with them or spend more time with them anyway.
When I first started here, there was a lot of children who were 5 and 6. The recession and all the cutbacks, for a couple of years there, we had a lot of children arriving here at 12 or 13 sometimes, which was very challenging for the children, very challenging for the staff, and very challenging, you know, it's very hard to help a child who's maybe been in a classroom just with a resource teacher for a number of years, who hasn't been able to be part of the class for a long time. It's very hard for the self-esteem.
I have been working with children and young adults with autism for the last 15 years. And it's a project that is very close to my own heart personally. I was invited to get involved in the work with Aspire, which is the Asperger Syndrome Association of Ireland, in 2001 originally. And since then we have developed a social drama research project since 2004, and we've been operating since then.
I think there should be more groups for socialising and more teen groups. There is some groups in the likes of, like, say, North Dublin, the odd group, but it's not big enough there, and they're only small groups, you know, like youth clubs and stuff, and then there's not a lot of them, and they need to be funded, and there's not a lot of funding that goes in to help these groups. I think they'd help families an awful lot more if there was more of them.
Yeah, Jordan and Ryan were in drama, the Aspire, that my uncle actually was part of. And then for myself, I actually I'm attached to a support group, and we set up a drama on the north side called Little Steps.
The programme that we run has been created specifically to target the children and the young people who participate, their needs, their developing needs in terms of the impairments that would be associated with the condition. So, and some of the challenges there might be around the areas of social and communication skills, repetitive thinking and practices, etc. So what we're trying to do is use an experiential pedagogy, because quite often many of the interventions are behaviourist. So you're instructing a young person on different approaches that they can take. Ours is immersive. So we create fictional worlds. Sometimes they're fantasy, sometimes they're highly imaginative, they can be based on the real world. And we're introducing the young people to the types of social scenarios and social skills that you meet in everyday life.
I've always been very interested in film and media in general, and also philosophy, and finding ways of combining those two, seeing philosophy being manifested through the medium of film and looking at film as a way to talk about philosophy. Getting interested in those subjects has really helped me create my own kind of internal world as a way to make sense of the world around me. And I spend a lot of time in my own head because I grew up in a very rural, isolated area, and I didn't have many friends growing up because I didn't really chime well with anybody else. So gaining an interest in those two subjects has really helped me be happy in the world, even when I'm not interacting with the world. I interact with the world in a different way, you could say, through the mediums of philosophy and through understanding film.
So feedback from parents has been very positive. We're always delighted to get feedback. We actively solicit it and ask for feedback. And what they comment on has been just the interaction of their children, both in their own families, with wider family members, cousins and grandparents and aunts, but also in school. So they're reporting back that feedback from school has been really positive as well.
I think parents have been very happy after their child has settled in Benincasa. A lot of the children that come here have found it very stressful in mainstream schools for many reasons. So when their child settles in, there's usually some teething, there can be some teething problems at the start, but when they settle in, parents have often told me that, you know, their child was having horrific nightmares for years in mainstream, and that all stopped when they came to Benincasa.
I'd like to see him having a healthy, happy life and having a good education. And the school that he's in now has helped an awful lot with that. Where if he had been in mainstream, he'd just kind of get to Leaving Cert level, and then he might get a little bit of help, but his school they're so helpful in pushing him forward and doing stuff like, and I'd like to just see him have a healthy, happy life with a good education.
Well, if they progress the way they are, there is no reason why they can't have a healthy, happy life. And that's all I want for the three of them, that they're happy, they do what makes them happy, because I think work should be something that you love to do rather than have to do. And I think if that's the case, if they get that chance, they can have a brilliant life.
The most important thing I'd like people to know who don't have autism is autistic people they're not broken, they're not incomplete, they're just different. They're born with a different set of skills and responses to the world around them, and it's not that they need to be fixed, it's not that they need to make themselves normal, whatever normal is. It's just that they need to be accepted for who they are. I think we're a minority of society, and it would be nice if the rest of society didn't try to fix us, so to speak, but just try to accommodate us, try to accept us as, okay, you're a person who's a bit different from me, and I'm not going to try and make you into something you don't want to be. I'm just going to try and find a way to make your capabilities work with my capabilities, and so that we exist on an even footing rather than a hierarchy of I'm above, you're below, or I'm inside the social sphere, you're outside. So yeah, just find a way to accept autistic people for who they are and try to accommodate whatever their needs may be.